Today, we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into one of Shakespeare's darkest, most powerful tragedies, Macbeth.
Okay, let's just jump right in with these words, right? They basically set the stage for this whole dark tale. Fair is foul, and foul is fair. It's like everything gets flipped on its head from the get-go, telling us, don't trust anything you see.
And really, that's the big question we're tackling here. How does a hero, a celebrated hero, become this monster? We're going to follow that tragic transformation, and it's a wild story that really shows the devastating psychological damage that happens when you have this massive ambition that's just egged on by something supernatural.
So, let's get into it. Our story starts, and you gotta remember this, not with a bad guy, nope. It starts with a valiant general, a guy who is totally loyal to his king, literally just coming off a huge victory that saved all of Scotland.
And wow, look at this. This really lays out the whole journey, doesn't it? The before and after is just staggering. From this brave general, the king's kinsman, to a paranoid murderer in a stolen crown. He's even called a dwarfish thief. I mean, that's a serious fall from grace. And that's exactly what we're about to break down.
So imagine this. Macbeth and his buddy Banquo are out on this bleak, empty heath, and suddenly, boom, 3 witches appear. They hit Macbeth with these 3 prophecies, but they also tell Banquo that his kids will be kings. This is the moment, right here, where the poison gets poured in. It really makes you wonder, is this destiny? Is it all laid out for him? Or is this just the little nudge he needed to go down a path he was already thinking about?
And get this, almost right away, like moments later, some of King Duncan's guys show up and tell him, hey, you're the new Thane of Cawdor. Just like the witches said. The first prophecy comes true, just like that. And suddenly, you can almost see the gears turning in his head. That final prophecy, the one about becoming king, well, that doesn't seem so crazy anymore, does it? And that little spark of ambition he had, it just roars into a full-blown fire.
Okay, so we've got the ambition, we've got the supernatural push, and all of that pressure is building to the point of no return.
So Macbeth is wavering, he's hesitating, but his wife? Oh, she is not. Lady Macbeth gets his letter about the prophecies, and she is immediately all in. She's ready to go. And this advice she gives him, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. That's basically a masterclass on how to be a stone-cold killer, hiding your true intentions behind a friendly face.
But you have to see, this isn't an easy decision for Macbeth, not at all. We really get a window into his tormented mind when he hallucinates this bloody dagger just hanging in the air, pointing the way. It's a dagger of the mind, as he calls it. You can literally see his conscience fighting a battle with his ambition, and it's losing, badly.
And then, it happens. The plan goes off, and it's brutally efficient. Lady Macbeth gets the guards drunk. Macbeth goes in and kills the king. She frames the guards by planting the daggers. And then, just to be sure, Macbeth impulsively kills the guards themselves, claiming it was out of rage. And just like that, the first irreversible step into tyranny has been taken.
So he's done it. He's king. But now he's got blood on his hands. And that's when the paranoia starts to creep in. It just absolutely consumes him. See, it's one thing to get the crown, but it's another thing to keep it. And for Macbeth, that means starting a vicious, bloody cycle of violence.
Think about it. Macbeth can't stomach the idea that he went through all this, murdering the king, staining his soul, just for Banquo's kids to take over. No way. So what does he do? He hires murderers to kill his best friend and his son. They get Banquo, but his son, Fleance, gets away. And that means the prophecy is still out there. And so is Macbeth's terror.
And this is a huge turning point. Macbeth basically admits he's trapped. He says he's waded so far into a river of blood that trying to go back would be just as hard as continuing to the other side. So what's his solution? For him, the only way out is to keep wading deeper. More violence.
Then his guilt, which has been eating him alive, just explodes into a public spectacle. He's at this big royal banquet, and his fractured mind conjures up the ghost of Banquo, sitting right in his chair, and of course only he can see it. So he starts freaking out, yelling at an empty chair, and basically reveals his guilty conscience to all of his lords who are just sitting there, totally horrified.
So, completely spiraling, desperate for some kind of reassurance, where does he go? Right back to the source of the whole mess, the witches.
And the witches deliver. They show him 3 apparitions. First, a warning. Beware Macduff. Okay, clear enough. But then come the next 2, which sound like promises. No one of woman born can harm him. And he's safe until a forest literally walks up a hill to his castle. I mean, these sound impossible, right?
And this gives him this massive, fatal dose of overconfidence. He starts to think he's completely invincible.
Now, to really get what the witches are doing here, you have to understand this one word, equivocation. It's a fancy term for using ambiguous language to hide the truth. It's saying something that's technically true, but totally misleading. And back in Shakespeare's day, this was a huge deal, a really hot-button issue, and it is the absolute key to Macbeth's downfall.
You have to remember, for the audience back then, this wasn't just some old tragedy. This was a political thriller. It's packed with shout-outs to the gunpowder plot of 1605, the failed attempt to blow up Parliament and kill King James I. So all this talk about treason, these equivocators and serpents hiding under flowers, man, that would have been absolutely electric for an audience in 1606.
So, feeling totally untouchable, Macbeth's tyranny just hits its absolute peak. He's completely off the rails. But that false sense of security he's feeling, it's all based on the witch's double talk. And those prophecies are about to unravel in the most literal, jaw-dropping way you can imagine.
It's interesting, right? As Macbeth gets bolder and more tyrannical, Lady Macbeth completely falls apart. It's like all the guilt she pushed down at the beginning comes back to haunt her in her sleep. She's seen sleepwalking, desperately trying to wash imaginary blood off her hands. That damn spot. It's clear the psychological weight of what they've done has finally completely broken her.
And here's where the prophecies start to crumble. Malcolm, the rightful heir, is leading an army to the castle. And he has a brilliant idea. To hide how many soldiers he has, he tells them all to cut down a bough from Birnam Wood and carry it in front of them. So what does it look like from the castle? It looks like the entire forest is literally marching up the hill. Prophecy number 1, check.
So, even with the forest moving, Macbeth is still clinging to that last prophecy. He's in his final battle, face to face with Macduff, the very man whose entire family he had slaughtered. He's super arrogant, boasting, "I can't be harmed by any man of woman born." And that's when the final, perfect trap springs. Macduff tells him he was, from his mother's womb, untimely ripped. He was born by C-section.
And there it is. The witch's tricky words all come true. Macduff kills the tyrant. He brings Macbeth's head out on stage for everyone to see. Malcolm is hailed as the true king of Scotland. The nightmare is over, the cycle of violence is broken, and order is finally restored.
So why do we still talk about this play? Because it's more than just a great thriller. It's a timeless, powerful warning. It makes us look in the mirror and ask ourselves, just how seductive is the promise of power? How easily can it corrupt even the best of us? And it leaves us with this really chilling final question. If you were told your greatest ambition was just within your grasp, what would you do?